wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the season finale for the second season of the NCRA SRX series. As we're here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds, getting ready to crown either our second ever champion in the series or possibly our first two-time champion, as we do have one of our co-defending champions in the hunt for the championship trophy here tonight. Tonight's going to be a good one. We've got a lot of different things to take care of here before we end up giving you your starting lineup. First off, we need to let you guys know that tonight's going to be the longest race of the season. Most of our races have been 60 to 80 laps in total, being split into the two stages. Tonight, these drivers are going to have to go a little bit further, as it will be a 100-lap feature with 50 lap splits between the two stages. So a little bit extra laps these drivers are going to have to deal with, and we'll see if that extra added distance on each one of the stages might play a factor into who's going to be getting that championship at the end of the night and who isn't. Let's also get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way, because coming into tonight, you guys would have seen the point standings after last week's conclusion at Slinger Speedway. So the question is, who's got a shot and who doesn't? Who are we looking at here this evening? Well, obviously, your points leader, Levi McIntyre, would be the favorite coming into this one, but he's only 1 point over Jovan Anderson. Ali Liera, who was the points leader going into Slinger, did not get very many points last week, either in the first stage or in the overall race. She subsequently drops to third in points. She's 11 points out. Carson Gum, right now, fourth in the stands. I mentioned there's a possibility of us having a multi-time champion here. He was one half of the co-champions with Michael Norman back in season 1. He's got a mathematical shot here tonight, fourth in points. He's a total of 14 points back. Those four drivers that I just mentioned, McIntyre, Anderson, and Liera and Gum, they're basically the four here tonight that I believe are really going to be in the championship battle. That doesn't mean, though, that other drivers I'm about to mention don't have a shot, but mathematically, it doesn't look like the points would shuffle enough that these other drivers would be able to get into the championship hunt unless something drastically happens here tonight in their favor and to the detriment of those ahead of them. So fifth in the points is Jesse Turner. Still mathematically has a shot, as he sits a total of 23 points back from the points lead. Seth Cole is 6th in the standings. He's 24 points back. Benjamin Miles is a total of 30 points back in 7th, and Nick Gunther right now would be the long shot driver, but is mathematically still eligible to get the championship trophy here tonight. He's 8th in points, and he has a total of 33 points back. The most points that a driver can accumulate here tonight if they sweep both the stage and the race win is 37 points in total. So with it being 33 points that Nick Gunther is back, he's obviously got to go out there. He's got to win both of the stages. But we've also got to bear in mind, too, he's also got to have himself positioned a certain number of spots ahead of those drivers that are ahead of him in the point standings. Because, yeah, he may be able to get enough points to be able to get by Carson Gum and Ali Liera, but would he have enough points to be able to get by Jovan Anderson or Levi McIntyre? It's going to be a game of numbers here tonight. Our calculators are going to be on overdrive trying to figure out who is where, who's got a shot. And, of course, we'll get a much clearer picture, I do believe, once we get to the end of the first stage as to knowing who's still got a mathematical shot with the remaining points that are left on the table. But now, let's give you a look at the starting lineup, the final starting lineup here for Season 2, as Ali Liera, who really struggled last week at Slinger, she's going to get the pole position for this one. She'll be alongside of Seth Cole, another driver that is in the hunt still for that championship trophy. Austin LaPlante coming off his second career win here in the SRX Series, but first of the season last week at Slinger Speedway. He's going to make up row number 2 alongside of Keith Batson. LaPlante and Batson both are mathematically ineligible from compete for the championship here tonight, so they'll just look to end off the season here in the finale with a checkered flag. Dylan Poteet and Chris Dollerton. Obviously, Poteet and Dollerton made their debuts a couple of weeks ago at South Boston, so there's no way that they're going to be able to be in the hunt for the championship. They're still both looking for their first career wins here in the SRX Series as they're going to complete row number 3. Row 4 is going to 5 Anthony McCurry. McCurry didn't have the best of runs last week as he only accumulated 3 points overall in that race. He'll be alongside of Michael Norman, who will be at least one half of the outgoing champions here this season. Still time will tell whether Carson Gum will be joining him or not. They're going to be in row 4. Row 5 is going to find Benjamin Miles and Dylan Young. Both of those drivers coming into this race. Dylan Young on the outside of the mathematical line. Benjamin Miles needs a lot to go his way. He still has a shot, but he needs a lot to go his way, much like Nick Gunther, Seth Cole, and Jesse Turner. In row 6 is where you'll find Daniel Voiles, another driver who did not have the best of debuts last week. As a matter of fact, Daniel Voiles didn't get any points from last week's race at Slinger Speedway. So he'll be looking to accumulate his first points of the season here tonight. And he'll be alongside of Levi McIntyre. Levi comes in the points leader. A lot of pressure on him to perform here tonight. Levi did not have a great season last year, we'll remember. And he's looking to get some redemption. But he started pretty deep in the field back in P12. Carson Gum also starting pretty deep in the field there. One half of the defending champions of the series. He'll be rolling off from the 13th position. Carson, he's the guy that's 14 points back. We ended up seeing him, though, end of last year, really started to step it up in terms of his finishes, and it's kind of seemed like he's done the same here again. He hasn't found victory lane like he did late last year, but the finishes have been there, so keep an eye on that machine, that purple machine to Carson Gum. He'll be alongside of Jesse Turner. Turner right now, 5th in the point standings. If I were looking at any of the long shot drivers back there, Turner right now is the highest of those drivers, and he's got some pretty good momentum coming into this race as well. The final row, row 8, is going to be completed by Nick Gunther. He is the ultimate long shot driver here tonight, as he'll be alongside of Jovan Anderson. Anderson's already going to start a little bit behind Ali Liera and Levi McIntyre as far as his starting position, and so he'll have some points lost once we take the green flag. He'll look to work his way from the back to the front, and it's also going to be interesting to see as far as these drivers here tonight. Do they go for the stage points? Do they go for the 12, 11, 10 stage points up inside of the top 3? Give up good starting track position for the second half of this race? Or do they kind of flip the script, give up the stage points, and go for the maximum points in the second half of the race by maybe trying to pick up the checkered flag? A lot of strategy is going to come into play in this one, and I do have a guarantee to you that we are not going to have the crawl fest that we had last season. It's going to be a lot more exciting racing here tonight for our season finale. But it's time to go down trackside for those most famous words in motorsports tonight here at Nashville.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pace car going to lead the field off of pit lane. We'll get ready to turn them loose for the first 50 laps of this race. Just take a look at your race info. 100 laps in total. 50 laps here in the first stage. Field gets inverted. And then 50 laps in the second stage. One thing we have to remember that we kind of saw last week, based on us having 16 drivers in the field now, that the back 4 drivers in stage 1 will not receive any stage points, and the final 2 finishers in the overall finishing results will not receive points. We saw that was the case with Ali Liera last week at Slinger. So those drivers have to bear that in mind as we're underway. A championship hangs in the balance here tonight at Nashville. Ali Liera is not even going to lead the first lap as she went to the middle groove through 1 and 2, opened up the door. Seth Cole into the inside wall after contact with Liera. The caution is out, but I don't think it was for the yellow machine. Looked like there might have been something further back as well. And Dylan Young is around there. That's in turn 1. Trying to get that car turned back around here on the banking. Jovan Anderson was back here. I don't know if he was involved. Remember, he ended up starting last, so that might have been why we saw him back here. Daniel Voiles might have been collected as well. I don't know exactly all of who got bits and pieces of this. But it looks like Dylan Young may have had to teleport his car to pit road. Yeah, he couldn't even get that thing refired back up. So Dylan Young more than likely will go a lap down or 2 here under pacing, which means that unless we end up having him be able to race his way back onto the lead lap, he will more than likely be starting pole position for the upcoming second stage. Let's go back and see what happened. We saw the Seth Cole incident live, so we'll take a look and see what happens to Dylan Young over into turn 1. It looks like he's going to get Michael Norman in the left rear quarter panel, kind of similar to what we just saw with Seth Cole and Ali Liera. Michael Norman trying to hang on to the thing, comes back up into Dylan Young, forces him into points leader Levi McIntyre. So McIntyre getting a piece of the incident. Carson Gum right there as well. Oh, and then Nick Gunther runs into the back of Jovan Anderson as they're all trying to get on the brakes to avoid the carnage over into the first corner. And you see right there Dylan Young, the rear tire, specifically that right rear tire, stuck there on the transition of the banking of turn 1 to the apron. Oh, man, Daniel Voiles. Was Voiles involved in something? Because he was way back there. I wonder if Voiles got collected up in something there. See if we got time to be able to go back and look. Yeah, I think he ended up having something happen over maybe on the backstretch. He did. He and Carson Gum got together. Oh, they were almost 4 wide. I think they might have been 4 wide there. That's Young, McIntyre, Voiles, and Gum. And then Voiles comes down into the passenger side of Carson Gum's machine. That might have been why we saw Nick Gunther trying to get hard on the brakes to not run into the back of Jovan Anderson, because he lost a little bit of ground to the lead pack there. And then coming to the caution would have had to really woe up with the drivers slowing up in turn 1. So Daniel Voiles kind of dodged a bullet there. Granted, he got some damage, but with being way back there, he was not anywhere in the vicinity of the big wreck going into turn 1. Dylan Young has returned back to the racetrack. He'll be on the inside line. Currently being scored 1 lap down to the leaders, so he could maybe get by Austin LaPlante and catch a quick caution to get back to the tail of the field, make forward progress. A single file restart here with LaPlante, Liera, Seth Cole, the top 3. Looks like the light green machine of Dylan Young is up to speed, was able to hold off Ali Liera. Heard somebody scraping the wall there off of turn 2, but everybody's pointed in the right direction. Seth Cole just got around Ali Liera, moved him up to 2nd. Dylan Pote going for 3rd. So Ali, who started on the pole, going the wrong way. There are no bonus points for laps led, no bonus points for most laps led. So you can run up front as much as you want, but it's not going to count towards any points as far as the championship is concerned. Now Seth Cole with the scratch marks there on the driver's side of his yellow SRX machine, running in second place, trying to find his way around Dylan Young so he can get up there and battle Austin LaPlante for the top position. Dylan Poteet right behind him. And we saw Levi McIntyre did get a piece of the incident, but right now Levi runs in the 8th spot. He is ahead of Jovan Anderson, he is ahead of Carson Gum, and he's only right now 4 positions behind Ali Liera. So as things stand at this moment with our live point standings, Levi McIntyre still is holding the points lead. Seth Cole did get around the lap car of Dylan Young. Poteet will look to do the same now. It's not for position. Ali Liera and Keith Batson now go to work as some contact back there between Anthony McCrory and Benjamin Miles. Levi McIntyre almost ran into the back of Miles going into turn 1. Things really wadded up here. And then McCrory nearly gets loose off of 2 and almost into the side of Miles again. Oh, got the wall hard there, did Anthony McCrory. Carson Gum's going to pick up a spot, as will Levi McIntyre. Further up, Keith Batson, Ali Liera in a good battle. That's for the 4th position. Benjamin Miles and Dylan Young nearly made contact on the back straightaway as Young starting to drift towards the rear of the field, the lap machine. Austin LaPlante running away with this race lead, at least for right now. He's been about 1/10 to 2/10 quicker than Seth Cole the last couple of laps. And Seth Cole's got a battle on his hands. Dylan Poteet right there in the brown car. Keith Batson starting to close in as well. Further back, Jesse Turner now looking to get by Dylan Young. Nick Gunther and Chris Dollerton nose to tail. That's for 11th. Still a ways to go here in this stage, but Nick Gunther needed a lot better starting track position, I think, to be able to fulfill the opportunity as the long shot driver for this championship. Still going to be a great season for him in his first full-time year in the SRX series. Got his first career win back at Lucas Oil. Oh man, Seth Cole and Dylan Poteet exchanging some paint there. Wouldn't be able to tell on Seth Cole's left side. He's already got damage earlier from getting in the inside wall. Got some smoke there on the start-finish line area, the front straightaway. No caution, however. And it may have been Jovan Anderson in the Scion machine. Might have been involved in whatever it was. But as I said, no yellow flag comes out. So if we end up not having a caution between now and the end of this race, you guys will certainly be made privy to what happened to Jovan, courtesy of the NNSCRA split cam. Seth Cole's free falling now after we saw Poteet get the 2nd spot from him. Batson moved to 3rd, Liera moved to 4th, and Miles is now into the 5th position. Michael Norman in the blue machine somewhat off the pace as well. As you're looking at the 2nd place battle taking place a little less than 3 seconds behind race leader Austin LaPlante. LaPlante gained another 10th. Now runner-up driver Dylan Poteet. Remember LaPlante last week taking the checkered flag at Slinger Speedway, not in the championship battle here tonight as he came into this one 44 points out of the points lead, so certainly out of that 37-point range. But trying to end out the year with back-to-back wins. We've never had a back-to-back winner here in the SRX series. We've had multiple-time winners during the course of a season. Most recent, of course, Ali Liera this season at Knoxville and South Boston, but we've never had a driver go back-to-back here in the SRX series. Also have to remember, though, too, LaPlante's got a strong car. He's showing it right now, but that's out in clean air. He got the lead from Ali Liera at the initial drop of the green flag. He's not had to be in any traffic. So once the field gets inverted and LaPlante gets sent towards the back of the pack, will that green car still have the same amount of speed, the same type of handling when put back in the draft. Ellie Liera, after we saw her fall back, oh, gonna get hooked there by Benjamin Miles and back up the racetrack in front of Carson Gum. That's gonna be a caution. McCrory is around in it. Seth Cole, Levi McIntyre was in it. And the yellow flag is going to wave once again here at Nashville. And that was 2 of your top 3 in points involved in that one right there. Liera in the pink car, McIntyre in the tan car. That's going to be a big break for Jovan Anderson, but certainly I don't think what Austin LaPlante wanted to see. Well, let's go back first. Since we do have this caution period now, let's see if we can find out what that incident near the start-finish line was for Jovan Anderson. I'm assuming he's the one, and yes, he was. This was all the way back on lap 16. Michael Norman. Almost looked like there was a score to settle right there for him. And Anderson almost hit that area of the pit wall where there's that little gap. That could have very well taken him out of the race. Had to deal with that rear end damage the entirety of this green flag run. Now let's look and see what happened. The contact between Benjamin Miles and Ali Liera looked almost eerily similar to what we saw happen between Liera and Seth Cole earlier. Yeah, in that case, it almost looks like Benjamin Miles thought he was going to be clear and tuck up behind Ali, but just got her in the left rear quarter panel, and then nowhere for Carson Gum to go. Levi McIntyre, McCrory's on the brakes. He gets run over by Seth Cole. Oh, and then the contact continues between these two. Maybe I'm wrong, but didn't Carson Gum and Ali Liera, didn't they get into it last week at Slinger? I'm pretty sure they did. Pretty sure it was contact between those two sent Ali Liera up and over. So I don't know if that's any fallout from that or not. Take one more look here and see if Carson just had nowhere to go, or if there might have been some follow-up contact from last week. Left side of your screen is Ali getting into the inside wall. Back up the track. Blockades turn 1. Yeah, I don't think there was anything in that. I don't think Carson was all that thrilled about Ali coming back up the racetrack. And then close call there for Dylan Young. Dollarton, Voiles both able to get on by, so they're going to pick up some very valuable track position. With about 4 or 5 drivers all congested together there in turn 1. Nobody out of the race as we'll get ready to go back green. It'll be with 20 laps to go here in the first stage. Still a lot of racing still left to go, so if we're starting to get some tempers and some rivalries brewing at this point in time, think of what it's going to be when we get to stage 2. Dylan Young did not race his way back on the lead lap, so he'll be on the inside line again with it being more than 10 laps remaining. LaPlante will get us back under green with Dylan Poteet, Keith Batson, Benjamin Miles, and Jesse Turner, the top 5. LaPlante with the benefit of choosing when to go in the restart zone, going to keep Dylan Young to the inside of Dylan Poteet. This is going to be a wad through 3 and 4 with Miles to the inside of Batson. Nick Gunther is now almost up inside of the top 5 as he's alongside of Keith Batson. Miles for second place. Not quite clear. He'll dive it deep into turn 3. Should have the position here. He does before they even get to the center of 3 and 4. Dylan Poteet, little wide there on corner exit, gonna slap the wall with the right side of his brown car. Gonna lose a couple more positions as a result. Nick Gunther got around for 3rd. Chris Dollarton making the pass for 4th. And Benjamin Miles now looking to get on by the lap machine of Dylan Young. I believe Nick Gunther got the wall that last time by off of turn 4. Dollarton's gonna complete a pass around him up to 3rd place. Miles will complete the pass around Dylan Young. Now he'll set his sights on Austin LaPlante. Benjamin Miles got his first career win this season at Eldora. Looking now for his second win of his career and to join Ali Liera as a multi-win driver here in Season 2. We're looking at that battle for the championship, though, right now. Oh, gosh, Seth Cole! Off the nose of Levi McIntyre. Caution's going to wave again. 3 wide there with Turner getting into the wall. Seth Cole couldn't check up in time. That turn 4 is treacherous. But I was going to mention the fact that Ali Liera and Jovan Anderson, before Seth Cole's spin, were both running outside of the top 12, and only the top 12 get stage points here. Levi McIntyre right now in 10th. But Miles had a strong car to get by Poteet, get by the lap car of Dylan Young. He might have something for Austin LaPlante here. Next restart should be, I believe, with less than 10 to go, maybe right on 10 to go, so I don't know if we'll have the lap car of Dylan Young or not. We saw this basically happen live, but we'll look at it more in depth. This was one of those cases where it was really nobody's fault, just circumstances. Turner into the wall, all the momentum lost. Seth Cole running wide off the corner. After getting back to the throttle, gets into him, and then as he slows, Levi McIntyre has nowhere to go, and he gets Seth Cole in the left rear quarter panel, loops him around. It's the second time Seth Cole's been spun off of turn 4. Well, I shouldn't say spun. The first incident was him basically sliding down towards the inside wall, getting some left side damage, but continuing on. But the front straightaway has not been his friend here tonight, that is for sure. But with him now dropping down the running order, that gives a chance for Ali Liera and Jovan Anderson to maybe snag some stage points. As things stand right now, if we're looking at those 4 drivers that we were focused on here tonight in the hunt for the championship, the highest of those would be Levi McIntyre, who would be in line right now for 3 stage points. Carson Gum would be in line for 2. And then Ali Liera and Jovan Anderson right now sit as the first 2 cars outside of the top 12. Anthony McCrory would be the driver they'd try to get around to get that maybe even valuable 1 stage point. It's been a strong run here tonight, though, for Austin LaPlante. He's led every lap so far. He'll look to continue that here and pick up a stage victory, just 1 week removed from a race victory at Slinger Speedway. Lights are still on up top the pace car, so we will get a fully single file restart here. But it will be an integrated restart with the lap machine of Dylan Young lining up 3rd car between 2nd place Benjamin Miles and 3rd place Chris Dollerton. Dylan Poteet will be 4th, and Keith Batson will be in the 5th position. Daniel Voyle 6th, 7th will be Nick Gunther. 8th place Jesse Turner, 9th place Michael Norman. Levi McIntyre is going to complete the top 10. Now Nick Gunther right now running in the 7th position. He's got to get up here and pick up the stage victory, or at least finish up inside of the top 3. See if he's going to be able to do it, as he'll have 9 laps of racing left here in stage 1 to try and pull off that feat. Benjamin Miles got a really good restart, kept in touch with Austin LaPlante. He'll be right on his back bumper going into turn 1. Both cars drift up the racetrack, though. Miles stayed lower, and he will have the inside advantage going into 3 and 4. Chris Dollerton trying to get up there, make it a 3-man fight for the stage victory. He's now going to try and get by Dylan Young, the lap machine. Almost a little contact between those two, as Miles still not able to clear LaPlante. LaPlante's got a strong car on that top side. Holding on for the moment. Ooh, almost pushed up into the wall, had to lift, and Miles is going to get the top spot. First lead change of the night, 43 laps in. Dollerton did get around Dylan Young, but so did Keith Batson. He's all over the back bumper of the gold car for P3. Jesse Turner right now is in the 5th position. He just passed Daniel Voiles, and the caution is out again. Yellow flag out, and this will most certainly end the stage, I do believe, under yellow, with Benjamin Miles showing the way. And it looks like maybe Dylan Poteet was collected up in this one after he restarted up pretty close to the front. Let's take a look. Now, the bad news for Dylan Poteet is he's involved in this wreck. He loses a ton of track position, as it was Nick Gunther that got him off of turn 2. The bad news, as we mentioned, lost all that track position. The good news is, though, he's not in the hunt for the championship, and he will, with this spin, be getting some pretty good starting track position for the upcoming second stage. If this race does indeed end under yellow, he's going to be rolling off on the outside of the front row alongside of Dylan Young. I almost wonder if maybe Dylan Poteet might have checked up there in reaction to Levi McIntyre, and that's why the contact between himself and Nick Gunther. Because it was really tight there off the second corner. Very fortunate he was able to get that car facing the right direction. Otherwise, he could have gotten T-boned by Jovan Anderson and Ali Liera. Now I'm kind of curious if they were able to make their way up into a stage point position or not. We'll see here in just a moment with our running order if that is the case. I mean, where are the stage points going to be given out? That is if we don't get back green. We may get a one-lap shootout, but I'm not certain about that. Levi McIntyre made his way up to 7th. Carson Gum is in 11th. And Seth Cole's in the final spot that would get stage points. So Liera and Anderson, they got to hope this thing goes back green. They need this to go back green, even if it's for a one-lap shootout. They got to get around Seth Cole at least to be able to get a stage point, because they're certainly going to lose points right now to Levi McIntyre as things stand. Levi, of the top 4 in points, is in line to get the most points here in this stage. He would get a total of 6 points for finishing in 7th. Carson Gum would get 2, and then Anderson and Liera would get none. Lights are out. We're getting a one-lap shootout. How about that? Benjamin Miles, if he's able to win this stage, where does this situate him as far as the championship battle? Remember, he was one of the long shot drivers coming to this one, along with Turner, Cole, and Gunther. Gunther right now is outside of the top 10. Cole is way back right now in 12th place. And Turner is in 5th, so Turner may still have a shot here too. Let's see what happens here in the final lap of the first stage. We still got another 50 laps to run here at the conclusion of this first stage. Green flag back in the air, along with the white flag. Benjamin Miles going to look to hold off Austin LaPlante, get those 12 valuable stage points for the stage victory. Half a car length between those two into turn 3. LaPlante tried to put the pressure, can't do it. Benjamin Miles, he's going to pick up a stage victory. And does this put him in the hunt for that championship now? To put him right in the forefront. Levi McIntyre picked up another spot there under that last one-lap shootout, up to 6th. Oh boy. Nick Gunther got up to 7th. I think he still needed that stage victory, though, to keep in the hunt. And did Anderson or Liera, did either one of them snag themselves a stage point? No, they did not. Oh, yes, they did. Anderson got 12th. Anderson got a stage point. Liera did not, though. So what are the points going to look like once this is completed? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. We're going to let our calculators go to work. We're going to figure out what it looks like here for the second and final half of this race here in the season finale. And we'll be right back to tell you what the scenario looks like. Field gets inverted. Dylan Young will be the pole sitter, being the only car one lap down. And we will be right back as we are getting closer to crowning a champion here in Season 2 of the SRX Series. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Don't you go anywhere.
We don't care, you call her name.
Welcome back to the Nashville Fairgrounds. 50 laps await us in knowing who's going to be the Season 2 champion of the NCAA SRX Series. Field gets inverted based off where they finished back in Stage 1. One driver had an issue. Michael Norman had an engine failure during the pace laps just prior to that one-lap shootout, so he will start shotgun on the field, forfeits his inverted spot. You guys are looking right now at the footage of that, as Dylan Young and Ali Liera are going to share row 1 here. Green flag in the air. Mathematically, with 25 max points available here in Stage 2, it looks like we have 6 drivers that are eligible, but again, still really only 4 drivers look like they are realistically in the hunt, and we got a big wreck there. Nick Gunther got hooked off the nose of, I think that was Daniel Voiles, hard into the outside wall off of turn 4, and I think that car is done. I mean, he went nose first, head on into the outside wall. Caution already waving here in the second stage. You can feel the intensity picking up here, especially with drivers realizing that their last opportunity to win a race here this season, even if they're in or not in the hunt for the championship, they've got to go all out. Here it was, 3 wide. Nick Gunther on the bottom. Daniel Voiles in the middle. It's Anthony McCurry up top. Oh, it looks like Nick may have actually driven it in a little too deep. Slid up the racetrack into Voiles, who couldn't give any room to McCurry. That is a hard hit into the outside wall there. There's LaPlante, who finished second in the first stage. He got held up. Michael Norman there as well in the blue car. And I think Nick's done. That's a tough end of the season there for Nick Gunther. Let's get another angle here, see if we can show just how heavy an impact that was into the outside wall for Nick Gunther in his first full-time season. Here it is. Combination of Daniel Voiles and Anthony McCurry. Bam! Wow. Now look at them, 3 wide underneath there with Miles. Was that Chris Dollerton, I think, and Keith Batson? That was pretty amazing that we were able to go practically 4 wide right there. So the caution out for the first time here in Stage 2. I've lost count of overall how many cautions we've had. There's been a lot of them. And Nick Gunther is indeed going to be out of this race. So he made it to the second half of the race, but he's not going to progress any further than that. Nick did finish 7th in Stage 1, so he did get some stage points. So while we got the opportunity here under yellow, let's bring you up to date on who is in, who is not. Levi McIntyre now has a 7-point gap back to Jovan Anderson after the stage points have been calculated. Carson Gum picked up a spot, moves from 4th up to 3rd, but he still sits 17 points back. Ali Liera drops from 3rd to 4th. She is 18 points back. Jesse Turner right now is in 5th. He is a total of 22 points back. And Benjamin Miles, basically, he has to win, and Levi McIntyre has to finish outside of the top 14. Plus, a lot of other things have to happen here as well. But Benjamin Miles is the long shot driver. That stage victory just moments ago keeps him mathematically still in the hunt. But again, a lot has to take place here. And even if Benjamin Miles is able to win this race and McIntyre does not get any race points here, finishing in either 15th or 16th, we would be in the same scenario we were in last season, where we would have a tie for the championship between Miles and McIntyre. Green flag back in the air for Dylan Young. With Dylan Young getting no stage points, he already came into this race out of the hunt, but even more so now. So he'll just look to end out the season if he can with a checkered flag. Seth Cole and Dylan Poteet into the wall there, as Cole will make his way into the runner-up spot. Ali Liera, Carson Gum trying to get by. So that means that Seth Cole and Nick Gunther, both prior to the green flag dropping here for Stage 2, would have been mathematically outside of the maximum number of points needed to still be in the championship hunt. Of course, Nick Gunther back behind the wall now after that hard hit into turn 4. For Levi McIntyre, the goal is simple. Finish ahead of Jovan Anderson and keep Carson Gum Liera at least within the same vicinity. He's got double-digit points between himself, Gum, and Liera, so right now he just has to worry about that Scion machine of Jovan Anderson. Right now, Levi is up to the 5th position. Jovan is currently outside of the top 10, so it is looking like at this point in time, it is Levi's championship to lose. But we saw a lot of stuff take place in the first 50 laps of this race, and we could very well see a lot take place in the closing stages of this final 50-lap segment. Seth Cole has taken the race lead away from Dylan Young. Daniel Boyles, Dylan Poteet, we're mixing it up back here around the 8th position, just behind Stage 1 winner Benjamin Miles. There is Jovan Anderson. Jovan Anderson basically has to finish 4 positions ahead of Levi McIntyre based off of how the points work. From 2nd place down to 11th, it's 2 points per position. So he's got to gain 8 points at least. So he's got to finish 4 positions ahead of Levi McIntyre. If he wins, talking about Jovan Anderson, then he would need Levi to finish 4th or worse. So yeah, it's still 4 positions really. Contact there between Dylan Young and Ali Liera. Liera working her way into 2nd place. Carson Gum trying to take 3rd. For Ali Liera and Carson Gum right now, I believe their only shot of winning this championship is very much the same as Jesse Turner and Benjamin Miles. They need for Jovan Anderson and Levi McIntyre to pretty much finish back in 15th and 16th. Oh, Levi was in a precarious spot right there. Dylan Young in the wall just ahead of him, and he had Daniel Voiles to his inside. I thought we might see Levi McIntyre in a spot of bother here, but he was able to get through it cleanly, at least for now. Anderson's trying to get around Dylan Poteet back there. Yeah, Jovan Anderson only got 1 stage point. Levi McIntyre got 7. So that helped Levi to open up the gap between himself and Jovan. Anthony McCurry trying to get around Benjamin Miles. He's got some right side damage, does McCurry, and Anderson just got the wall there off of turn 4, so he's going to lose that spot he just gained from Dylan Poteet. Austin LaPlante led a ton of laps back in the first stage. Lost the lead to Benjamin Miles, but brought it home 2nd in stage 1. He's now all over the back bumper of Levi McIntyre. That's P6, the battle right now. Ali Liera trying to reel in Seth Cole, but there's almost half a straightaway between those two. Carson Gum, Keith Batson. They're battling for the 3rd spot, and congratulations to Daniel Voiles, because in finishing 8th back in the first stage, he got 5 stage points, and those were the first points he's accumulated this season. Didn't have any stage points or any points overall last week at Slinger. McIntyre going to lose a spot there. Oh, he's going to get the wall too. That's going to drop him some positions. That's going to maybe bring him back into the clutches of Jovan Anderson. There's Anderson. Oh, and there might have been some contact between McIntyre and Miles through 1 and 2. I think Miles might have gotten Levi's left rear quarter panel, and now Levi way up the track, might get the wall again. He does, right down into Dylan Young. Dylan Young's going to bounce off of Chris Dollerton, and he's going to get completely spun by Jesse Turner. No caution. Notice the caution lights. They are not yellow. They are still green with no oncoming traffic. So no yellow flag for that. That's surprising. But Levi's got some pretty good damage now on both sides of his race car, battling with Dylan Poteet. Anderson has moved up to 8th. McIntyre is about to fall to 11th. So that's 3 position separation. Jovan needs Levi to lose 1 more spot, or he needs to gain 1 more spot. He's got Anthony McCurry up ahead. He's also having to deal with Benjamin Miles out the rearview mirror. So this battle is not over yet. Right now, Jovan Anderson in 8th position would be in line to receive 10 points. Levi McIntyre right now in 11th would receive 6. Or make that 4, rather. That'd be a difference of 6 points, and they were separated by 7 points. So right now, with them both being towards the rear of the field, Anderson is still 1 point shy of tying Levi McIntyre for the points lead. And now he's going to lose a spot to Benjamin Miles. So that loses him even more ground to McIntyre as we speak. Best battle right now is for the 2nd position. Ali Liera trying to hold off Keith Batson. Let me try to do a little bit of quick calculation here of Ali versus Levi. 18 points difference. Ali, well, Ali's about to lose the 2nd spot, so let's calculate with 3rd place. 20 points right now. Ali Liera would be in line for, which means that Levi would have to finish 13th or worse. And right now, Levi, last we saw, was running in 11th. So still a shot there. Very, very slim, but still a shot. Carson Gum, he's currently in 5th. That'd be 16 points he would accumulate. He was 17 points behind Levi McIntyre, so he needs to pick up another spot, and he needs Levi to not get any points. So basically, for Carson Gum, he has to be up inside the top 4. If he's not in the top 4, he's not going to win this championship. Seth Cole, though, continues to show the way, and it'll be 20 to go next time by. He's going to have Dylan Young, who we saw had that spin but no caution come out for. He's going to catch up to him. So we'll see if Keith Batson, who's now in 2nd, will be able to close up the 2.3 second gap. Let's drop back here, follow again with Anderson and McIntyre, who are now 1 position apart. Jovan in 10th, Levi in 11th. So Levi still, despite being outside of the top 10, he still holds the points lead. Right now it would be by 5 points, I believe, over Jovan Anderson. Now, if Levi stays in the 11th position, the question is, looking at Ali Liera being up towards the front, could Ali gain enough points to be able to take the championship from Levi? The gap was 18 points. Levi right now in 11th would get 4, which means that Ali would have to accumulate 22 points or more, which means Ali's got to finish in 2nd or better. If Levi stays back in 11th, Ali could finish in 2nd and tie Levi. Or if Ali wins, Ali takes the championship. Right now, Ali is losing touch with Keith Batson, and Daniel Boyles is starting to reel her in. Carson can get up there to 3rd place as he's starting to reel in both Liera and Voiles. Carson would still need Levi to lose 2 positions. Seth Cole's caught Dylan Young. 15 laps to go here in the season finale. Will the light green machine of Dylan Young hold Seth Cole up, bring Keith Batson into the conversation here? Both drivers are looking for their first win on the season. Both were former winners last year, but have not gotten a checkered flag here this season. Cole's going to catch Young on the back straightaway here. Shows the nose to the inside. Will Dylan Young adhere? Looks like he will. Boy, tough season finale here for Dylan Young as he gets the wall. Got trapped a lap down in the early go into the first stage. Ended up finishing dead last. Field got inverted, so he got put on the pole, and now he is running last car on the racetrack. He's not going to finish dead last in both stages. Nick Gunther's already in the garage area here in stage 2, but this is not the evening that Dylan Young was looking for, as the battle is on for 3rd place. Just noticed that Jovan Anderson has worked his way up another spot. He's up to 9th. Let's go back and follow that battle again. Anderson's gotten around Dylan Poteet. Levi McIntyre right now still holding down that 11th spot. He's got Jesse Turner behind him. If Turner gets up there and takes the spot from Levi, could change the points interval. Not certain it would get Anderson above McIntyre, though. And Anderson hasn't gotten away from Poteet, so that battle for 9th place may not be over and done with. You got Benjamin Miles and Anthony McCrory. They're mixing it up for 7th place, and they're quite a ways ahead of Jovan Anderson, about a second and a half ahead. So I don't think Anderson's going to be able to make up any more ground. Now it's about him hoping Levi loses ground. Carson Gum, Austin LaPlante, they're in a battle for 5th. Inside look for Daniel Voiles on Ali Liera for 3rd place. And if he completes the pass, that is going to pretty much take Ali Liera out of the championship hunt. And the pass will be completed. Voiles up into the podium. Well, Seth Cole did get around Dylan Young. Batson managed to do the same. I think he might have closed up the gap between himself and the yellow car, but I don't know if he's got enough time. Lap time was about a 10th quicker for Keith Batson over Seth Cole. Cole almost brushing the right rear of his machine into the outside wall off of turn 4, so that car's obviously getting loose. I think another 10th was gained there by Batson. Yeah, an even 10th right there. 19.344 for Seth Cole at 2.44 for Batson, but 10ths aren't going to do it because he's running out of time. 6 to go this time by. He'd need about 15 laps at the pace he's running right now with Batson to get up to Seth Cole's back bumper. Again, shaves another 900ths off, almost a full 10th. But he needs Seth Cole to make a mistake, run into traffic or something. Maybe have a caution come out at this point. We would get back green, I think, with a 1-lap shootout. Now 5 laps to go here. Batson again. Just a little bit quicker. That time, though, I think he only gained 5 100ths. So, yeah, he's used up his stuff trying to reel Seth Cole in. And I think it's going to be too little too late. 4 laps to go here, as we'll see if there's any battles going on. Gum and LaPlante still with about a car length between them for 5th. Benjamin Miles did get around Anthony McCrory, so move him up to 7th, and there you see it. Just 1 position separation between Jovan Anderson in 10th and Levi McIntyre in 11th. If Levi sits in that 11th position here for these last 3 laps, he has won the championship. Nobody is running far enough ahead to mathematically dethrone Levi McIntyre. And think about the polar opposites of seasons. Last year, Levi McIntyre couldn't buy a good finish. He was mired down the cellar of the point standings, but this season came in with a new attitude, picked up a victory at the start of the year, race 2 at Five Flag Speedway. He's been a mainstay up inside the top 5 in the points pretty much all season long. And now as Seth Cole takes the white flag, he is just 1 lap away from being the only champion this season. Last year we had co-champions with Michael Norman and Carson Gum, but Levi McIntyre is going to get to hoist that championship trophy all by himself. Seth Cole going to end off the year with a victory in the finale. And Levi McIntyre, way back here in 3 and 4, he's going to come around. He'll finish 11th, but it's enough for him to claim the championship in Season 2 of the SRX Series. Anderson finishes ahead of McIntyre, but only by 1 spot. Looks like the official scoring is going to be 5 points separation. Levi McIntyre over Jovan Anderson for the championship. Consider the fact it came down between these two here at the end of the year, and they were the first 2 drivers to go to victory lane this season. Anderson in the season opener at Stafford, and Levi 1 week later at Five Flags. But it is official. Levi McIntyre with the victory, and let's take a with the championship, I should say. Seth Cole with the victory. Let's take a look at the official finishing results. And Michael Norman had another mechanical problem here in Stage 2. We didn't even see that one. We showed you the footage from Stage 1. But man, Michael Norman, back-to-back stages here tonight where a mechanical issue happens for the now outgoing one half of the co-champions. Carson Gum going to finish the evening out in 5th. So those 2 drivers will look next year to become the first multi-time champion of the SRX Series along with McIntyre. Keith Batson gets a solid run in second tonight. Daniel Voiles, obviously we didn't get a lot of showcase from him last week at Slinger, but he definitely came to race here tonight. Finished up in the 8th position in stage 1 and gets a podium finish here tonight in only his second SRX start. Ali Liera is going to finish in 4th, 5th place for Carson Gum. Austin LaPlante in 6th. Benjamin Miles had the stage win, and he'll bring it home 7th. Anthony McCurry in 8th. Dylan Poteet 9th, and Jovan Anderson will complete the top 10, just ahead of Levi McIntyre, who brings home the championship in 11th. Jesse Turner, Chris Dollerton in 12th and 13th. Dylan Young finishing a lap down in both stages here tonight. So a struggling evening for him. Same for Michael Norman, who, as we documented, back-to-back stages with mechanical problems, and Nick Gunther did not reach the conclusion either, as he took a pretty hard impact into the outside wall off of turn 4, bringing out the first caution of this stage, and he will finish out the season finale in the 16th position. Well, I said that based off of my very bad math in my mind, that I believed that the championship was won by 5 points, McIntyre over Jovan Anderson, and we're about to find out if that is indeed the case, because it's time to show you the final point standings from this season. One thing I do know for absolute certain, don't know what the interval exactly is, but I do know that Levi McIntyre is the champ, based off of where everybody was running at the conclusion of the race. So congratulations to Levi McIntyre on a job well done here this season. Picks up his first career victory, gets the championship, and he'll head into the upcoming 3rd season of the NSRA SRX Series as the defending champion. Will he be able to defend that crown? We'll have to wait and see. The 16 drivers that you saw take the green flag here tonight, you'll see them all, some of them for their 3rd full-time season, some of them for their 2nd full-time season, and in the case of 4 of them, their 1st full-time season in SRX competition. We appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Congratulations to Seth Cole on winning the season finale, and Levi McIntyre on winning the championship here in the NSCRA SRX Series Season 2. We'll see you guys next year for Season 3 when it kicks off at Stafford Motor Speedway. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the NSCRA Offline Racing at its best.